down in the den, so go tell a friend. The best podcast on earth's about to begin. We got jokes and news and movie reviews. After Dark NC-17 with the crew. Interviews with the best artists around. So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Welcome to Down in the Den. It's your boy Marz, and we are back again with another stellar episode. Today we're talking about one of my favorite topics, one of my favorite pastimes, video games and horror movies. And with me to help me out with this conversation, I have with me today horror enthusiast, adult film vet, podcaster, and Twitch gamer supreme, Rebecca Love. Rebecca, welcome to the Den. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I don't know if I'm a Twitch streamer supreme, but I definitely am addicted to it.
It sounds very Taco Bellish. Twitch streamer supreme sounds like you might order that on Taco Bell. Sounds delicious.
I'll take that in a combo.
There we go. Yeah, with Mountain Dew, please. Thanks.
Oh, look at you, old school Mountain Dew. Gosh,
very old school.
Love Mountain. Have you done the ices? Mountain Dew icy.
I have, and if they told me crack was in it, I wouldn't be shocked at all. I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. That's why I stole my mom's couch. No, they're fantastic. Amazing. So one of the traditions here in the Den, I'm a big comic book nerd. I see you have some cool stuff in your background as well. And I always say every hero and villain has their origin story. So, Rebecca, what's your origin story? How did you get from point A to where we're at right now?
Oh my God. Time and experience. I've loved horror since I was a kid. My first horror movie was Alien. Was it Aliens? No, Alien, with the whole thing, the chest burster popping out. I was just yay big, scared the shit out of me. But then and there, I knew I loved that. I was a thrill seeker and I needed that extra oomph, that scare, that fright really jolted me and I loved it. And then I shared it with my friends. And then I have girlfriends that when we get together, we're always popping in the horror movies. Well, back in our day, we popped them in with a VHS.
Oh no, I'm a VHS baby as well. So I'm with you that my first VHS was 1989 Batman. The very first Batman movie.
Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, Kim Basinger. Yes.
That is my Batman. When people go, who's your Batman? Michael Keaton.
Absolutely. No, same here. Bell is great, even though he sounds like he has throat cancer. But Ben Affleck, I think he looks like the Batman I picture, but Michael Keaton is my Batman for sure.
Yeah, I would say Ben Affleck, definitely the visual. Yes, absolutely. And I think the best played was what's his freaking name? I can't think of him right now, but I know it wasn't that long ago, and I want to say he did Psycho. That's why I know.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale was pretty damn good.
Yes, he was pretty good. Like I said, the only thing I liked, if you notice from movie to movie, his Batman voice got more and more outrageous, and I'm
intense.
Very intense, and I can only imagine if you're a villain and he's got you, I'm Batman, and you're like, what? I didn't.
You're on the wrong team. You should be a villain with that voice.
Right. I didn't understand what you were saying. Who tell me where they're at? I'm like, pardon, what? I don't get it. So, but yeah,
he's talking from his balls, baby.
Absolutely, a full set. So I love some horror movies myself. They scare me to death, but it's a thrill, like you said. And,
it's a roller coaster ride for at least 90 to 2 hours, 3 hours. Okay, you're killing me here. All right.
No.
So, it gives me that thrill. And some people can't even watch them. They're like, no, I can't take it. And I go, it's not even real. But if you show me real shit, I will cringe. I can't watch it.
Absolutely. And that's what I always said. Chucky doesn't scare me. If Chucky came to life right now, I'd kick him. He doesn't even have really opposable thumb. I'd throw him out the window. But you're right.
How did you feel about the new Chucky?
So I'm a Star Wars nerd. I love Mark Hamill. He's probably the greatest voice actor of the 21st century. Hated the movie. I love Aubrey Plaza. I think she's a great actress. I love her and some of her past work. Hated the movie. I didn't like him being a AI. I'm like, now it's just Terminator. You know what I mean? I like the whole stealing the soul, and that was the whole point. So that's the one
And the
thing I didn't like.
campiness.
And the campiness, yes. So I didn't like the modernization of Chucky.
I liked the AI version. I just wish it wasn't Child's Play. They could have named it something and it could have stand
Anything
on its own.
could have been a video game system that would have worked. You know, anything. But yeah, Child's Play. Any kid that's playing with a doll doesn't want the doll to be AI. They have a phone for that, so it doesn't really make sense in today's society.
Look
But
at you pulling it apart,
I'm
going, you
trying
have your
to.
phone. You don't need a whole goddamn doll.
You
It's
don't
kind of
need
like
a
a
doll.
vibrator. You don't
You're
need the whole damn doll.
Hey, it's put a lot of us guys out of business, so I understand. I understand.
Mm,
So I always ask. I like to get. We always play a game called Mount Rushmore.
okay.
Whenever someone's an expert, we want to know who goes on your Mount Rushmore. So, what are the 4 horror movies that you're going to put on your Mount Rushmore? If someone said, "I want to get into horror," Rebecca, who should I look at, or what should I look at? What's your 4 horror, Mount Rushmore horror movies?
Well, then I should put them in order so I can like slowly progress them to the top. So I would put Gremlins first, just to get your toe wet
Love
and
Gremlins.
dip it in. And it's a Christmas movie.
It
It's great
is.
for the holidays.
Absolutely.
Gremlins first. I got to put Aliens in there because I like horror sci-fi. I love it. And it was my first. So if you pop a cherry, you're going to get on the list. Let's see, the third. Now I got to look behind me and see what I got here that I absolutely freaking love. Oh, you got to do Elm Street because it's campy, it's fun. Uh and I love Robert Englund as Chucky. Not Robert Englund as Freddy.
Freddy.
Freaking love him.
Yes.
Let's put Chucky on the list too. Let's
Yeah,
throw that. I like campy horror movies.
me too. Me too. What did you think about the remake with, I forget the actor. I know he was in Earl Healy. Oh God, I'm
Are you
usually really
talking
good at.
about the worst movie ever made?
Yes, where he didn't even look. He's in makeup. I know Robert England's like 730, but just put him in the Freddy Krueger. He's our Freddy Krueger. It doesn't matter. He's in
Ageless.
makeup. It's
Yeah,
ageless. It's,
ageless.
you can even have a stunt double as long as on the close-ups I have Robert England. That's all that matters. So I was very Lee Earl Haley, I think, was the guy
And
who
it
did
was too petty. It was too
it.
pedophile-ish. And
Yes,
we always were like, was he a pedophile? Wasn't he? Like we were on the borderline, but you can't root for a pedophile. And you
you
always rooted
can't.
for Freddy.
They kind of just made him a child killer, which isn't much better. But you're like, at least he's not being a creep as well. He's just killing them. So
And he made it
uh,
fun.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes and the parents were jerks, so sometimes you got to teach them a lesson. Now, you're also, as I mentioned, a Twitch gamer deluxe, maybe not a supreme, but we'll say deluxe. What's your favorite horror video game, or have you ventured in any of the horror video games?
Oh yeah, I do. I stream a lot of horror video games. In fact, the only reason I got on Twitch is because I wanted to play Friday the 13th. I love the idea of you could be Jason or you could be a camp counselor, you're a survivor or the killer, whatever, and your friends run away and you play. And the great thing is it's a multiple player game, so you can play with your friends. And I got an Xbox. I got on Twitch because I'm like, if I'm going to game, I need to create content. I need a purpose to do this. I can't be wasting my time. And I gradually learned how to play Friday the 13th and I loved it. And it's still my go to game. When other games, you can't get into a fucking server, you're like, all right, let's go to Old Reliable and we'll play that game. But Dead by Daylight, Friday the 13th, we play White Noise 2, which is a more indie game. God, I'd have to look at my list. Oh, and I'll do Mortal Kombat XL because it has Alien, Jason,
Freddy was in
Chainsaw.
it, right? Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, it has. It doesn't have Freddy in that one, but I play all horror. I always go, if I'm going to do something for free, what would it be? Something I like, right? Something I look forward to.
Makes sense.
And I was like, all right, if I'm going to get on Twitch, because Twitch, it don't get on it because you want to make a whole bunch of money. You
Right,
get on it for other reasons.
right.
And I look forward to every Tuesday getting together with my Scream team and celebrating horror.
That's
It's so
super
much fun.
awesome. So you're super cool. That's one of the reasons I really wanted to interview. When I saw all the cool things that you were into, I was like, we need Rebecca on the D.E.N. We need to get her a D.E.N. mate stamp.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
uh,
You're making me blush over here.
well, you deserve it. Well deserved. What was your introduction into video games? Because I love talking to female gamers because growing up in the '80s, I laugh today when I think about the advertisements. The boys had He-Man and G.I. Joe and Transformers. The girls had My Little Pony and Barbie. The video games, I've never seen a little girl playing a video game in a commercial. It's always the 13-year-old grimy boy that's the, Mom, I need some more pizza rolls in the basement. So what was your introduction to video games? Or do you remember your introduction?
Oh yeah, it was Mario Brothers, and it was on
Same,
Nintendo. And
same.
I got addicted. And my friends would come over. I'd go over to their house, and we would just and we never ordered those. Remember those magazines that you got
Yeah,
to figure
Nintendo
out?
Power, Game Pro, all of them.
Yeah, so I would just ask my friends that had the magazines, "Hey, how do you get past this level? Hey, how do you get all these lives?" So they would just tell me, and then I'd figure it the fuck out, and I would save the princess a lot of times. I don't think I could do it today. You remember when you had all that time on your
Yeah.
hands
And
to
patient.
invest into a video game?
Yeah, when you're 10, 11, 12, 13, what do you have? You school and that's it. So you have the patience. Now it can be super frustrating.
And
It's
games are a lot more advanced.
oh
There's a
sure,
lot going into it. You
for
could do
sure.
achievements, you could do high scoring, you could just battle your friends. There's so much more involved, and before you just sit there and
Yeah.
you might have a partner for Luigi,
Yeah,
but
but you passed off because you couldn't play at the same time. So when I died,
right,
I
right.
passed it to you. It's funny that you say that because that was also my first introduction. I always blame my late brother for making me the chubby boy because I was the athlete all up until about 9 years old. And on my ninth birthday, he said, "Hey, you're getting a Nintendo." And I was like, what's that? I want to play basketball. I want to play football. I want to do all of this. He was like, my brother's little brother has one. It's really fun. You're getting one. And he told my mom that's what I want, even though I just wanted a bike. And then when I got it, it was like that first hit, that first love, and before you knew it, I'm eating combos, drinking Mountain Dew, and ordering pizza, playing video games all day, and I just
Combos. I freaking
oh,
love combos.
they're awesome. They are super awesome. So that is hilarious. That was also your first intro into the video game world.
Well,
What's your
I was just like you with the bike thing. I used to ride my bike everywhere,
yeah,
like Stranger
everywhere.
Things, everywhere.
Absolutely.
And then
Absolutely.
once I got that Nintendo, it's like that's all I wanted to do was play it. It was very addictive.
Yes. My mom always jokes how before the kids in the neighborhood would knock on the door, hey, can Sean come out to play? And before they could say play, I was at the door. And then after Nintendo, I was like, y'all can come in. And I
I
have a
bet your
couple of
mom loved that.
she was fine. We were the snack house, so we had the snacks and the pop and the chips and the. So I think we contributed to the whole neighborhood entering childhood obesity because of my brother. So probably
But you
about
were safe and she knew where you were.
absolutely. I think that's why she dug it. I think that's why she dug it. So we're on, I think, the eighth generation of systems. I know there's a Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, which everyone's trying to get. What's your all-time favorite system?
Well, I've never played PlayStation. I only have Xbox, and I got once I started high school and all that, I kind of lost the interest in video games because I had to like study and there was just no time for it. And recently, and this is only a few years ago, I started getting back in and I got an Xbox. So I haven't really done the PS4. I don't, or is it PS5 now? I'm so
You're on
sorry.
5 now, but
We're on
you're
five.
probably better off finding a PS4 because they're so hard to get right now.
It was same with Xbox, the new ones. It's so
Yes,
hard to get.
very hard, very hard.
But yeah, I'm an Xbox right now, and I play a little bit on Steam. I'm always like looking for the new exciting games, especially some adult games because I do other things.
Sure, sure. So, Xbox is one of my favorite systems. I have them all just because I'm a nerd, but yes, Xbox is definitely one of my favorites. I love the. Right now, I'm playing 12 minutes. I don't know if you've heard that.
What is 12 minutes?
So 12 minutes is free on Game Pass. And basically, it's like a mystery game. You have 12 minutes and you're in a time loop. So it starts off where you're the husband. You come home, your wife's like in the bathroom or something. She comes out and she's like, I made a special dinner. Last night was great. And then you have conversation options. So you have to, and then at about the 9 minute mark, a police officer knocks on the door. Police officer comes in, arrests your wife, and kills you. And then it starts over loop. And he's like, what the hell? Kind of like a Groundhog Day. He's like, what the
Yeah.
hell? And then you have different options. So you have to keep doing it until you can figure, but it's only 12 minutes. After a couple of times, you know when the cop's going to knock, you're going to, but you have to figure out the murder mystery and ask specific questions, find certain things on how it is addictive. I highly
Really?
recommend it.
All
12
right.
minutes,
I have Game Pass, and I'm always asking people because I don't want to waste my money on Game Pass. I'm like, tell me what games to play. And
12
we're
minutes.
starting Project Winter right now, and I'm learning how to play that. But I will look into 12 minutes because I really want to get my money's worth out of Game Pass.
Yeah, it's I love Game Pass. I think that's why I'm more of an Xbox guy than a PlayStation guy because I feel it's a great value. Even older games, when
Does PlayStation not have that?
they have something similar, but their choices are so they'll have like old PlayStation 4 games that you played 8 years ago. Not really interested in that because Xbox is more like a PC. They have a lot of independent developers. So
Yeah.
some of the best games I've found are some of the small independent games that
Well,
just
that's
keep you
just like
coming
White
back.
Noise too. It's
Yes.
an indie game, and I love playing it. We don't play it all the time, but when we do, we're like, oh, why don't we play this more?
It's definitely a blast. So yes, 12 minutes gets the down in the den. You want a mind bending, and they have some pretty. William Defoe is the cop. They have some
Love
pretty
William Defoe.
love William Defoe. I always thought he should be the Joker. And then there's two other big actors and actresses that are the voice actors who I can't think of right now. But yeah, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it.
All right, I'll check it out.
Absolutely. Now, going on to the Twitch, I'm trying to get into Twitch because, as a content creator, the more ways that you can make content, the more ways you can get yourself out there. But I haven't entered yet. So tell us,
Why? Why have you not? Just tell me
I
why you have not.
simply just put it on a back burner. People ask me what's my favorite nation. I tell them procrastination is my
That's
favorite.
that's my daughter's favorite
Yeah,
nation.
absolutely, absolutely. So that's that. I'm like, well, I need to edit this. I need to edit that, and then I'll play the video game on my own. And I'm like, oh, I could be streaming this on Twitch right now. So you're absolutely right in that respect.
Or you could just record your gameplay and just mark down the times that something amazing happened and just cut those clips, and then you have content too, so you're not wasting that time not streaming but just playing the video game for fun.
That's a pretty smart idea. I'm gonna write that down on my notepad. Now the people I do know that are on Twitch, they love it. They love the community. How's the community for you? Is it something that you really look forward to meeting with that community on Twitch?
Oh my god, I love it. Like, I should have gave up Twitch a while ago. But I can't because I feel like if I don't show up, I'm going to be letting them down. And at the same time, I have so much fun on Tuesdays. And that 4 hours of streaming that I block off, and I show up at a consistent time, and I end at a at it's the same time every Tuesday. And while I'm streaming, what I do is I have one of these bad boys. It's called a stream deck. And
Okay,
every time there's this moment that happens, I'll hit this button and it'll mark it in the video. So when I edit the next day, I can just go to those clips and edit it down for my YouTube and make smaller clips for my Twitter and stuff. So in my mind, I rationalize creating great content. And if there's something adult in there, adult conversation, I'll use that for my OnlyFans. So I am always working while I'm streaming, and there's never lost content.
that's wise. And that we talk with a lot of content creators, artists of all sorts on the show, and that's one thing that I always tell people: everything can be content.
But you know what I
Everything can
was
be content.
thinking? You probably could do this podcast on Twitch. You don't have
Can
to be gaming.
Oh yeah, yeah, you can. There's people that do podcasts, and people that do music. They do everything as Twitch. It's just getting in. I always tell my producer, she helps me with a lot of the tech. And I tell people look at me, and because I'm a gaming nerd and a comic book nerd, they assume that I'm also a computer hacker. And I'm like, dude, no, we were poor growing up. I had a gateway computer in the mid 2000s when they were already old. I'm not computer savvy. So getting on a new format, I tell people when MySpace was out, I was still on whatever was before MySpace. When
I don't
Facebook
think
came out, I was on MySpace. I think it was Yahoo Messenger before MySpace or something like
AOL chat
AOL
messenger.
chat. Yes, AOL chat. The shout out age sets location. That was the wave in 1997.
ASL
Absolutely.
baby.
ASL baby. Everyone was lying, but it's all good. It's all good. Now you wear plenty of hats, and I love multifaceted artists because that's what you are. You're an artist. I also understand you run a lot of events in Vegas, and one of my favorite pastimes in life. I was almost internationally famous for my karaoke performances on a cruise a few years ago. People were coming to me calling me boys to men, even though I can't sing, but it's all about the personality. I understand you run an event called Karaoke XXS. Those are two things I'm very interested in. Tell the tell the mates about two of my favorite pastimes combined in one awesome event. Tell us a little bit about that.
So Karaoke Triple X was created because we needed a meetup group out here in Vegas for everybody in the industry. And that could be cam models, fetish, adult, whatever, producers, talent. And they would they still do, come to karaoke. And that's a great way to network. And the reason we have karaoke is because some people can fucking sing. Some people can't, but that's the joy of it.
I love it.
And we all get together once a month here in Las Vegas and sing. Now, I personally don't sing because I am tone deaf, but I love the organization of it and getting everybody together. And I just make sure everybody's having a good time, or I'll make the introductions. If I know somebody's looking for talent, I'll make the introduction to that person. And fans are welcome. So when fans come into Vegas and a performer is like, yeah, you can meet me at Karaoke Triple X because it's a safe place. It's
Right.
public. We got your back, and you can meet your fans. And it's a great way to get everybody together all at once when the performers want to actually leave. Because since 2020, everybody's a homebody and like, I don't know if I want to go out.
That is awesome, and you're absolutely right about that. I always tell people the pandemic made me realize how little human contact I really need to be a happy person. And it kind of scared me because I found myself 4 or 5 days. And I was like, when's the last time I've been out the house? Because you can DoorDash everything or Instacart everything or Amazon everything. So I literally have no need to get out of my chair at all. I
Isn't
told him
that crazy?
it's crazy. It's the wave of the future, but it's also scary. I'm thinking kids that can do push-ups in about 10 years are going to be like the new LeBron James because we're all so sitting down and connected to this or connected to everything. So I said maybe at 50 I'll be able to make my NBA dreams because all the kids at that point will be so out of shape that I can still do a layup.
It'll be like that movie. Was it the cartoon where we all got obese and we just sit in a chair and we slip or it was, oh God. Oh, I want to say Short Circuit, but now it's dating me. This was a freaking cartoon, and it had the robot, and we destroyed Earth. Um, oh gosh, I know your den mates are freaking shouting it out.
Oh yeah, they're probably
It's
going
a
to be
Disney
in
movie. It's a Disney movie.
they're going to be in the comments like it's Wally's.
Whoa, you got it. You got
Did
it.
I?
It is
Oh,
Wally.
it is Wally. Yeah, I see. We're there. We're there. We're there. Absolutely. It's my Professor X abilities that I wanted. So you said you don't participate in the songs themselves. If
I
you were, what would be your go-to karaoke song? If someone dragged you on and you had to
Okay,
do it.
so if I have too many drinks, I will get up at the end of the night and sing Cookie Monster because you don't have to sing it. You're just like, C is for cookie, good enough for me. Ow, that hurt my throat. So I do a little Sesame Street, and that's when people know, oh yeah, she's taking an Uber.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Well, at least you have a telltale sign. I'm not much of a drinker, so if I smell a beer, I'm like, hey, everybody, want to see me with my shirt off? So everyone says Sean's the designated driver because if this guy walks past the bar, he just passes out. So you
I grew up redneck and we drank beer and sat around campfires, so it's maybe it's a little nostalgic, but I freaking love a good beer.
Yeah, I am starting. I'm not one of the inmates. Please don't send me any beer. I don't want you guys to waste any of your money because it's not that serious to me. But a funny story: I didn't have my first drink until 20 years old, and I was at school, and we had a someone in our dorm who was 21. So he was like, "I'm making a liquor run. What does everybody want?" So everybody's like, yeah, let me get, mind you, this is early 2000s. So they're like, let me get some Cisco. Let me get this. Let me get this type of beer. I didn't drink. So the only thing I can remember is what I saw in my mom's refrigerator. So I was like, yeah, let me get a Bartles and James Fuzzy Navel. And
Oh,
then,
oh, you just lost your man card.
oh my
It was
God.
pulled and revoked.
Oh, everyone they were like, "Hey, man, do you need to tell us something?" I'm like, "No, no, it's for the chicks that
Oh,
aren't
smart. Well
here."
played, sir.
Right.
Well played.
That was my answer. So I got off of because I'm quick on my feet, but I was like, "Oh my God, apparently that is not what you're supposed to drink." So after that, I just remember hearing guys saying Jägermeister, which is disgusting, by the way. And
Yeah, but
so
it's great for the girls. Now somebody pulled the Jaeger for the girls.
there
They
you go.
they
So
followed suit.
that was my drink of choice. Now you're also a podcaster. You're also in this world of podcasting. Tell the inmates a little bit about your podcast.
So I got started with Katie Morgan on a podcast, and then she stopped doing it, and I was addicted. And I'm like, oh, let me dive deep and see what podcasting's all about. So I learned how to do it on my own and grab a server and build the site, and then the audio and all that. So in 2014, I started doing different podcasts, and I brought my friends along and I teamed up with Jocelyn Stone, which is my co-host for my Talking Dirty with Rebecca Love, and I'm her co-host for Sick Addictions with Jocelyn Stone. And it works out great because she's a dominatrix and I'm a vanilla little cupcake. So I'm always asking questions like, what? What do you do? Oh my God. And I try to think what the listeners would be saying. And we've progressed from just doing it, her and I, kind of like this, her and I just doing it this way. And then we added the chat room with Discord because I learned Discord from Twitch and I'm like, oh, we could totally let's try a live
Integrated,
chat.
yeah.
Yeah. And at first it was horrible because you hear all the ding ding. And I realized I got to turn off those notifications.
Right.
And then it progressed to be they start showing up because we're consistent on what time, what day, and they're part of the show. And if somebody is in the industry, because what I do is I teach people about the adult industry and what I've learned on my way. So they can pipe in and then we give them some love and shout outs if they have certain sites they want to promote. So it's turned out to be this great thing, kind of like Twitch. I can't wait for Mondays. We show up, we have fun, we banter, and they'll throw up like GIFs and stuff in the chat room. And we have to look away, going, okay, you need to stop because we're trying to be serious about the conversation right now. And you're fucking with me. So it is something I look forward to on Mondays, doing
That
a
is
live
awesome.
show. But it's
Yeah.
a bitch the next day because you got to edit, you got to like make those
That
little people don't realize the work afterwards.
it's a job. This is like I said, this is the fun part. I could do this all day.
Mhm.
Literally curve out an 8 hour block and just talk to interesting people all day. It's not till you put that footage on the hard drive and you're like, okay, now I got to put this and cut this and add this. So I understand,
So
but it's a passion.
I am the opposite. I would rather clone myself to do this part, right? Because I want to do the editing. I my creative mind works like, oh, I'm going to use this clip for this and I'm going to do this. So me sitting down to edit and that's when I turn on reality shows in the background because it's I have to justify watching TV that way and be productive. So editing is my favorite part.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow. It
that's where I get off.
each person, is different, and it's kind of like that white noise where you can put something in the background and edit thing. With me, I think because my content is mostly just shoulders, the editing's not that difficult. It's just finding the right pieces and putting it there. And I went to school for it, so that part it's really just
I
connect.
wish I knew what I wanted to do when I'm older, besides taking my clothes off. I wish somebody sat down and said, you know what you'd be good at? Because I would love to went to school for that.
Well, the thing is, these careers didn't really exist
That's
10
true.
years ago. They
That's true.
really didn't. No one had Zoom 10 years ago. No one had, I mean, I heard of podcasts, but you didn't have visuals. It was really for the nerds that people, they have a statement about stars and there's a podcast with Neil deGrasse Tyson and he's talking about collapsed stars and the rest of us were like, yeah, I'm a C student. I don't understand what you're talking about.
The great part of podcasting is you can multitask. So you can put on a podcast and you can go do mundane things like clean
Yes.
the bathroom, do your chores, fucking mow the lawn. I don't know what those mundane chores are, but that's a great thing. You can multitask. Like when I'm driving in the car, I haven't used my radio forever.
Right.
I'll be listening to podcasts that teach me about something so I can multitask.
Yes. I always tell people, I've been out of school since 2002, but I always tell people I had to go to the library. I had to go to a library. Think about how archaic is that and hand a library card and look at the Dewey Decimal. You ask a 13-year-old what
I
a
used to
Dewey
file
Decimal.
the books. I
Yes.
love doing that.
Yes, I had to do that. And I'm like, now you kids can literally go on your phone and get all the information in the world. Why are you bringing home anything less than an A or B? It's
Right?
it's there for you. I would hate to be a teacher and try to grade. It's too much information. You can even look up how to work a math problem on and put it right on paper. So when I hear kids about failing in school, I'm like, you're just lazy. You're just lazy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They go
You're
to the
just
same
lazy.
nation, procrastination.
Procrastination, absolutely.
I wish I could get a degree in YouTube University because I got to tell you, I love to learn that way.
Yeah, yeah. YouTube is amazing. I wish they had some type of accreditation. Yeah, I'm sure we're speaking it into existence. In 2 years, there'll probably be a YouTube. But
Right? You could sign up,
yeah,
take all these courses.
that's coming. YouTube, if you steal this idea, it belongs to Rebecca Love. I'll take 1 point of credit.
Oh no, we're
So,
sharing this. We
okay,
freaking brainstormed it together. I
there
would
we
have never
go.
came up with it if you didn't
There we
say it.
go. Don't steal it. I have a good attorney. They will sue you. So, we've talked about your origin. We've talked about your passion. It's time to earn that Den mate stamp. So we have a little game that we're going to play. It's
Okay.
called That, This, or Plead the Fifth. So the rules are simple. We're going to give you two choices, and you
Okay.
have to pick one. If one is too spicy, you can always plead the fifth. If you don't want to make the decision, if it's too hard to make that choice, then you don't have to make that decision.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I don't know, but we'll see.
We'll see. It's very calm. It's very tame. So,
Okay.
the first one we may already have the answer to this, but PlayStation or Xbox?
Well, Xbox, because I don't know anything about
Don't know
PlayStation.
anything about PlayStation, so we know this. This one, Jason or Freddy, and people looking can see a lot of Jason on the background, but Jason or Freddy?
Freddy, because I feel like he can invade your dreams. He can do anything.
Let me tell you, I am a super analytical person. So my fear factor would always be based off of what's the likelihood of this actually happening to me. So I was never scared of Jason because me, if I read that there was 40 murders at a camp, I'm just not gonna go.
Right?
Jason rarely goes out of Crystal Lake except for those later
Except
movies
for when he went to space.
for some reason. He went, and then I think he went to Manhattan one time.
Oh
Jason
yeah, he went
goes
to Manhattan.
I remember he beat up a guy with a boombox or something. It was completely stupid.
Epic.
Yeah, but it was epic that he beat the boombox, but it was so stupid that this big 6'5" hockey mask guy with a machete just walking around in the hood. And people were like, "Hey man, you want to buy some crack?" It was back in the day where they were just getting off of black exploitation, so every black guy in the movie was like, "Hey man, you want to buy some crack?" And the Jason's was like, "No, machete to the head." So like, oh my god!
But he was sexier than Freddy for some
Yes.
reason. As long as he kept the mask on,
Right,
he
right,
was
the whole worm.
sexier.
Absolutely. Mike Myers or Chucky?
Chucky. And I have the Mike Myers behind me. The only
Yeah,
thing
I
I'm
see
missing
Mike.
from my Well, I don't have it for my collection yet, but I would totally take a Chucky doll and a
Fans,
Freddy glove.
send her a Chucky doll, a Freddy glove, and I don't see a Hellraiser anywhere. So let's get a Hellraiser in there as
Dude, they
well.
just did Hellraiser on Dead by Daylight, and a lot of kids don't even realize there was a movie called Hellraiser. They know it's a Cinnabite. A Cinnabite? That sounds like a fucking food.
Uh,
Is it Cinnabite?
Cinnabons, yeah, there's I think there's
Cinnabites, right?
yeah.
Okay. But a lot of people don't even realize, millennials don't even realize that was Hellraiser. So I think we need a remake, reboot, something of Hellraiser
I think
to
that
go
would
with
be
the Dead by
awesome.
Daylight character.
Even though they're part of our audience, I tried not to hang with anyone whose birthday starts with 2000 because they're just they're, their line of thinking and what they've experienced in the last 20, 21 years, it
I
blows me away.
I gotta tell you, because I'm on Twitch, I get a lot of millennials, and I kind of like their way of thinking. Love, peace, fart and glitter, love all that stuff. But sometimes I have to like tell them, "Come on, you gotta man up, gotta have some thick skin,"
A
you
little
know,
bit.
a little
I'm
bit.
a big fan of the EDM culture. In Vegas they have a lot of shows and the plur lifestyle, peace, love, unity, and respect. And
Love that.
used to have a huge beard. So but I'm clearly the oldest. At the time I'm in my late 30s, so I'm like the oldest person there. And the kids come up, they're like, "Can we put glitter in your beard?" And I'm like, "That's so nice. Yes, you can put glitter in my
Do
beard.
it.
Go
Do
right
it.
ahead." So then I'm, walking around, and there may have also been some things that I don't drink, but there was other things that I may have taken, and
That's okay.
you
That's
know,
okay.
and the kids are just like, glitter beard," and I'm like, "This is great," but I just couldn't
I
keep up
would
with
love
it.
to see glitter beard. You really need to take a picture and
I'm
put it on your
growing it
social
back.
media.
I'm growing it back. I might do I used to be Marlon Beardo, the bearded weirdo, but then I kind of had a pandemic thing where I shaved my head and cut off my beard, and I was like, "Oh, I've ruined my entire online identity now." So
Hey,
I'm,
we've
I'm
all
growing
done
it
it
back.
because I've dyed my hair so many different fucking colors.
Hey, we all have to pull a Britney sometimes. Sometimes you just got to shave it all off and
You pulled
start
a
over.
Brittany. You just used her as a verb.
Absolutely. Now,
Oops, he did it again.
I did it again. I'm sorry, but I'm not that innocent. Now, see
Oh,
what I did there?
I totally seen what you did.
Now, great sex or real love?
Real love.
There you go. There you go. So that is 3 for 3. You've just completed that, this, or plead the fifth. You get your official den mate stamp. That means you're in here for life, gang, gang. That means you're
Ah,
always welcome. Anytime you have something to promote, you now have a second home here in the den. So,
that made
so
me so
Rebecca,
happy.
this has been a blast. I hate to end this conversation. This has been a blast. I want you to give the den mates, let them know where they can find you, what you got going on, your social media details. The floor is yours. You've earned it. Let everyone know where they can find you.
All right. I'm just going to make it super simple because I don't want to hurt your head. Go to RebeccaLove.com. One B, two C's, and everything's right there. All my social media, everything you need to know, and see what fits your genre. Because I have so many different hats that you might like my gaming, you might like my adult version, and you just might like my social media saying, "Hey, what's up?"
There you go. So it's going to be RebeccaLove.com, two B's, one B, two C's.
Oh, see, some people do that once in a while. Or just Google Rebecca Love. I'm sure I'll come up on the first page.
Either way, Google her. But
Google me.
we'll put all the information there. It has been a blast. We would love to have you back
I
anytime.
gotta tell you, before you hang up on me here,
Go
this
right ahead.
podcast has been amazing. Like the
Thank
conversation
you.
flowed. It's very interesting. I love the dialogue, and I learned a lot about you too,
Well, thank you.
Glitterbeard.
If it wasn't for the tan, I went to Florida a week ago. So if it wasn't for the
Where'd you go?
tan,
I used to live in Florida.
I went to Palm Beach. Went for a wedding and had a blast. Got some. I hadn't really went swimming in Florida because I can't swim, but the water was just so blue. I was like, I'm from Virginia Beach, which our water is kind of cruddy. So I try to stay away, and I went there and I swam and got super burnt, but it was a blast, and everything was great until some crab legs just start randomly washing on shore, and we were like, is somebody eating in the beach, or eating crabs, or did something kill a crab? And but after that, my mind started working. I was like, anxiety, panic. Now I'm getting out of the water.
Dun 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 dun
Exactly.
dun dun dun, which is a great horror movie
A
of
great
all time.
Jaws, Steven Spielberg. Let me tell you how scary Jaws is. Before we end, this is how scary Jaws is. My brother, God rest his soul, my best friend in life, terrified. I could do a whole show about how he was, because he was 10 years older than me.
Yeah.
So when you're 7 and your brother's 17, he's going to have some fun with you. And he tortured me in the most loving way. I was petrified of Jaws. Petrified. Live in a beach town, went to the beach all the time, saw Jaws. I was like, nope, not for me. I was so scared of Jaws, he could simply go, doom, 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 and I would start having a panic attack. So that's all he needed. That's all the ammunition he needed. He would literally do that, and I would run and jump off the couch and hide on the chair. And I think I was 4 when Jaws came out, but I would shake just from the music. And we tell my mom we finally remember him, and I said, Pop, that was my brother's name. Greatest guy in the world, love him to death. But boy, did he torture his little brother, all in good fun.
That's
But
what you're supposed to do.
supposed to
My
do.
my mom got a Chucky doll, and my sister was deathly afraid of Chucky. And it's one of those things you stick on the back of your car and stuff. And she tortured my sister, and
Oh,
she don't like horror movies to this day.
yeah, it's great. One time, the biggest fear, and I wish they still had this, the biggest prank he did on me that I wish I could do to someone. I don't know if you remember the Teddy Ruxpin dolls.
Yeah, I remember. I used to have one.
So he took my Teddy Ruxpin, took the tape, put some paper on it, and recorded over it. He had a very deep voice like myself. So when I put my Teddy Ruxpin on night, instead of, hi, I'm Teddy Ruxpin, I got, your soul is mine, and I am coming for you tonight. And then I freaked out, woke up, was like, what the hell is this? Ran to get my mom. He switched the tape out. I come back in my bedroom. I'm like, Mom, it's a demon. It's a demon. I put it on and it's, hi, I'm Teddy Ruxpin. And my mom's like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And I'm like, no, it happened. Wasn't until we were adults where he told her, yeah, everything he said happened, really happened. I was doing it. So it was a hell of
Oh my
a great
God,
time.
that would make a great TikTok video.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. If they could find it, some of the things I always said, forget content. All I have to do is remember some things. And this guy, he told me the dryer was a transformer, and that if I get into it, it would transform. And then he turned it on. So I hop in, and he was like, "Just say Autobots roll out," and I'm like,
Wait a minute, you
"Autobots!"
hopped in the dryer?
In the dryer. Yes, I was a very
Did you
tiny
go
kid.
a full rotation?
Full rotation, a couple of full rotations before my mom heard boom, 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 and she ran in there. When I came out, my
What
afro
was
was
wrong
bald.
with your brother?
And it was
I'm
funny.
surprised you survived childhood.
I always tell people, I'm like, and then he became a social worker, like one of the he got a
Of
presidential
course he
award.
did.
Yeah, for social work. And I'm like, he's working with children, him of all people. I am petrified, but I call him Loki. He was like a Loki, just completely mischievous, and it was the best
You
thing
know
in
what?
the
He
world.
probably gave you thick skin to survive
Yeah.
this world.
Yes, 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 it did. Yes, he did. I always tell people you could never joke with me because I've heard all the jokes by 6 years old, and it sharpens still. So I ended up becoming a gift of gab and being able to talk. So I would always, kids are mean. I would always come into class, analyze every single person like the Terminator. Like, all right, this person clothes are dirty. This person needs a haircut. This person, but I would never use it until they use something on me. And
Oh,
then
so you had your ammo ready.
I had my ammo, fully loaded clip. So as soon as they said, "Hey, Sean, you got buck teeth," I'm like, "That's true, but I'll get braces in a few years. Let's talk about you." And then I would bam, 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 bam. And after that, they quickly learned, let's be Sean's friend because this guy. Oh yeah, absolutely. So I was just like sawed off right to the face. So after that, they were like, oh, "Okay, we've
You
learned."
probably earned the respect then because they
Yeah,
knew not to
yeah.
bully you.
Absolutely. It's a comedian. He says, I don't call it bullying, I call it character carving. So that's what our age, we grew up with a little bit of character carving. So
Wait a minute, you're a comedian?
I've done comedian, but no, there's another comedian. I've done
Oh,
comedy.
okay.
Yeah, I've done
Okay.
stand up a while, but
So
it's
how
not
did you
my
feel about
forte.
stand up? Just curious.
Stand up was amazing. But it's something I had essentially been doing since I was 5 years old without knowing it. So
Ah,
I think while anyone can learn the techniques, they have comedy classes. It's something that you have in your core, and
mhm.
you'll know. I suggest everyone try it because it's one of the hard. Public speaking is hard to a lot of people.
It is hard. There's such a dance to it, and there is writing skills because you gotta cut off that fat, but
Yeah,
I loved everything because I did the whole comedy thing. I hated stand-up. I hated getting up on
lo-
I couldn't come off natural. I felt scripted,
right.
but the
And
rest
that's
of it
what
I
happens.
loved.
Well, that's what happens. The first time, couple of times you do it, you're learning your segment. You're learning how to segue. You're learning how to transition. So it's not in a natural conversation. People talk over each other. People go in and out. They go around. That's how people naturally talk. That's why I love Quentin Tarantino's writing
Mhm.
because his dialogue flows like
He's an
people
amazing
really talk.
artist.
Amazing artist. I love Quentin Tarantino, favorite director. So, and big, if you think about a lot of his biggest movies, it's two people sitting down having a conversation.
That's how I felt about Clerks.
Yeah,
The
Clerks is
dialogue.
literally
Boom, boom,
two
boom, boom, boom.
people having a conversation, and it comes from having passion about knowing what and comfort with what you're talking about. So I found with my times I've done stand up, when I've done material that wasn't like Take My Wife, it didn't go. But when I
Yeah.
just talked about my life and telling stories, and the funny thing, it came off natural. It's just like that was one of my bits, talking about how my brother tortured me, and it's
Which is
natural.
amazing stories.
Yeah, they're amazing stories. So being able to pull from that and have it, I always say that's why you'll see comedians go down the more money they get because they don't have the stories anymore, and you can't connect to people when you say my butler didn't put the crease in my
Can't
pants. They're
relate
like,
to that.
can't relate to that. And you can't relate to that. So having that actual comfort and what you're speaking about and actually living it. And a lot of comedians, the big ones, have writers. So that's another reason they may come off, not as authentic because they're telling someone else's story. It's not
That's
going to be
true.
the same. It's not going to be the same. If I write my story about to Kevin Hart about getting thrown in the dryer, it's not going to come off the same because even though he can fit, you know what? I shouldn't have said that. Short people, I love you guys. He's very small though, but
He's
but
tiny.
he's a tiny guy. It's fine. He's petite
He knows it. He talks about it.
all the time, all the time. So I feel that's the thing with me with stand up, being able to just be my true authentic self was a blast. I need to get back out there and start doing it again. But yeah, it's a blast. It's a blast.
So if you like dialogue movies, I just watched because I have a horror podcast and we talk about certain movies we watched online or streaming services. And one that was recommended, and it's not a porno, it's called Roadhead, and it's on Tubi. And the dialogue is amazing. Like I'm like, holy shit, great verbiage. It's a B movie, but if you just listen to the dialogue, it's one of those you have to sit down and watch. Freaking great. That script must have been, I don't know how many pages, like War and Peace, but I just love the banter going back and forth. I wouldn't want to be one of those actors trying to memorize all that.
Oh no, no, no. And I would that was one of the things with acting. My memory with remembering lines,
Yeah.
trash. I love improv. I can improv with the best
I
of
love
them, but
improv. Oh my
loved
God.
improv. But remembering the lines, I was in a class in college for drama because I was just trying to get an easy elective. I didn't know that she was off Broadway and would have made it to Broadway, but she got in a really bad car accident that messed up her leg.
Yeah.
So I didn't take the craft seriously. I'm just thinking, "Oh, I'm just trying to get an extra A." And she would always say, "You have so much talent, but you don't take it seriously. Why don't you take it seriously?" And I would always say, "I'm kind of ugly. I'm never going to be an actor." You know what I mean? I was like, "No one's. You're never gonna. If you put me and Brad Pitt, I don't care if I have the best line. They're gonna hire him." So I would justify it in my head for not
No,
taking the
there's
craft.
character acting. There's so many parts to be played with acting. Now,
I
listen,
realized
when
that.
people go, oh, you know what? You'd be a good model for this. I'm like, I ain't no fucking model. I'm an actor and I would love to play these parts and I'm a B actor because I love to be silly. So I do a lot of the B movies, but don't ever call me a model because I'm not one.
And now as I got older, I look at, I didn't know about character actors back then, but I look at Steve Buscemi and I'm like, yeah, he's got plenty of roles, or Paul Giamatti. These guys are not going to be.
You mentioned William Defoe.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, he's great. He's great. So I always tell people it doesn't matter if you discover your passion at 5 or 55. As long as you discover it and pursue it, that's fine. So that may be something I do in the future. Who knows? Who knows? But
Well,
Rebecca,
I'll look forward to it.
thank you, Rebecca. This has been a blast. You're always welcome here. Anytime you, absolutely, anytime you have something to promote, anything at all, you just want to chat it up. You have my info. We'll be in contact. We're serious about the den mates for life. We support all of our den mates, all of our guests. It's a relationship. You'll probably be getting in contact. We're going to send you some merch. We always like to send, yes, so we're going to send you some, wherever you want it mailed. We'll go ahead and send you some merch.
Okay.
All of our den mates, we like to make sure that they get to represent us. It's a family. It's all about a family. But
Fam.
absolutely, fam bam, exactly. But as always, it's your boy Marz. I have Rebecca Love here. Please check her out. Please check out her great content. She's amazing. I'm batting 1,000. All of our guests have been amazing. This is no different. So please check out the homie Rebecca. Please support. Please subscribe. It's been a blast. It's your boy Marz. It's Rebecca. Rebecca, if you want to tell the den mates a final word.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on here. It has been a privilege.
Absolutely.
Thank you, den mates.
It's been an honor. Signing out for Down in the Den. As always, it's your boy Marz. Thank you guys for tuning into this very special episode. And as always,
so like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now.